happy Tuesday, 10 at 10. I am your host, Richard Charpentier. And as you're already aware, every Tuesday we take the time to answer questions that were sent to Bakerpedia. And our format, we take 10 minutes every Tuesday to do our best to guide you and answer your questions. So our first question today is regarding BHT, which is an antioxidant. And they want to know what is the percent of using BHT as an antioxidant in cake mixes. Is the percent determined by the amount of fat or by the total formula percent? So first of all, for those who do not know, BHT is butylated hydroxytoulene, and acronym BHT. And it is used primarily in fats and oils and as an antioxidant to prevent the fats and the oils being used in your mixes or in your cakes to become rancid too quickly. So it is an item, and for all of you wanting to use it, that has an upper regulated amount, so meaning it's not a GRAS ingredients where there's no limit. And recognize I said this one, based on the CFR Title 21 in the US, it is a upper limit of 200 parts per million based on a total fat usage percent. So you will have to calculate the amount of allowed BHT in your cake mixes based on the amount of fat and oils you're using, and take 200 parts per million and calculate how much is allowed based on how much fat you're using. And if you want a little more information on BHT, I highly recommend you go to Bakerpedia, where there's a lot of free information. You can scroll through with information on usage rate, where it's being used, and how to better use it. So if you have not done that yet, I highly recommend for you to go and do that. So now for our next question, we're looking at an ingredient called tripolyphosphate sodium, or sodium of tripolyphosphate. And the question goes on whether or not it's possible to add tripolyphosphate sodium as an additional antioxidant to the dough, and is this considered a chelating agent material? So that's a very, very good question. So first of all, the sodium of tripolyphosphate is not an ingredient that is commonly used in the bakery industry. Not sure why, but this is not commonly used. It's recognized by the government and the CFR and by the federal government as a GRAS ingredients, meaning it's generally recognized as safe with no upper limit. And it's what I found on this ingredient is generally used as a preservative ingredient in the poultry, meat, and seafood industry, and also in the cheese industry. So basically, the polyphosphates are negatively charged chains of phosphorus and oxygen that attract water molecules. And when added to the cheese, they remove the calcium from casein matrix and also bind themselves to the casein while bringing moisture with them. The effect is that the polyphosphate loosen the protein matrix, helping keeping the mixture emulsified and ensure even melting. And that's for cheese. And in poultry and meat industry, it basically will help prevent the poultry, fish, or meat from becoming greasy and falling apart during eating. So it keeps the structure together. So I wish I could give you more information on tripolyphosphate, sodium of tripolyphosphate within your dough system. But again, based on my research, there's not a lot of information out there. So, but great question, and thank you for sending it. Now, for our last question of the day, we are talking about EDTA, and is this possible to use EDTA as a partial substitute for vitamin C? And if possible, what is the effect that it has on the dose system? Well, for EDTA is a chelating agent, and it's not an ingredient that will give you oxidation within your system. EDTA, when being used in combination of vitamin C or sodium bicarbonate, will react in on the negative side. And it's added to food product, basically as a stabilizer as well as to prevent rancidity, but not in combination with vitamin C. Once you're adding ingredients at such a small level that has such an impact on your product in the long run. There's so many things that could happen. Temperature which, of the product in the packaging, the different ingredients, everything can play a synergetic reaction, and then if you're not sure how it's going to perform in your products, I recommend test it before putting in all your products and thinking I'm solving an issue. Anyhow, so thank you very much for listening. This is Richard Charpentier for Tuesday 10 at 10, and I will see you next week, and happy baking. Thank you.